engine braking, of course, in first gear, and a lot of rear brake, because they do not want to go too fast down here, as I don't really know what's ahead. And the ground is quite slippery. If I were on a dirt bike, I'd be flying down here, of course. If I was with Thomas, I'd probably go even faster. He and I actually did this ride together on this bike. And at some point we switched and he drove with me on the back, and he did very, very well. You kind of got to trust and hope that... Wow, that was a little technical, that was, with the chippings that were very deep. I was going to say, you got to trust your son. He's a good driver. I've seen that. And it's kind of fun to do this again. This is a big heavy bike, remember? 1000cc sports tourer with a shaft drive. It's got really good tires, but of course they're for the road. It's got a lot of power, brakes are good, but it does have a lot of weight, and I'm realizing that a lot of biking is really knowing how to control your speed, your engine braking, and of course your balance. Like, I'm realizing how, you know, I guess I've always been pretty balanced. I don't want to jinx myself now, but I can kind of feel myself at one with the bike and not nervous, just kind of in control up to a point until, you know, I hit some massive dish of a hole, and they appear suddenly because it's very light and shade here, so a lot gets hidden. Here we are in the middle of nowhere with a house, and nobody will live here full time, of course, because this is closed in the winter. It's heavy snow. This time of year it looks like a little haven. So beautiful, but you wouldn't be able to access it except with a snowmobile in the winter. Nice little crossing here. Get above myself. I'm starting to think, okay, it's a normal road now. I can change into third, and as soon as I do that, of course, there is a series of pretty deep holes. Starting to see cars. These people are hiking. This is the Sandwich Mountain Range. A lot of hikers. I'm hoping, of course, is I don't get a puncture. A lot of very sharp stones, but my tires are new. Hopefully I'm not damaging them with the sharp edges. But what can you do? You only live once, and this is more fun than I can say. Yay, now I gotta hold this. It's a little slippery there, got it. Bad. One of the good things, as you probably noticed earlier on, is cars tend to give you right of way because they know that you're having to make technical moves. Whoa, big hole. Big hole. Oh, another one. Change down the first gear, I think. So easy to get complacent. The light and shade really hide some big bowls, craters. You probably can't see them, can you? Yourself from the video. Oh, this is just such fun. Life is so good. Having been in Italy driving around on mopeds, here I am living the dream. Most beautiful day. This car doesn't seem to really want to give way, but that's okay. Got it covered. Glad I didn't meet him here. Okay, slow it down a bit, Phil. Just thinking of my sister and how much she might enjoy this. Maybe not on the Harley. Get her a dirt bike. I love having a sister who's a biker. Can't say that to too many sisters, women, girls. Typically, she's always been a spirited person who is willing to do things that other people aren't. Experiences. Hey, she can drive a train and a double-decker bus. So I reckon she can handle a motorbike. Clearly she can. Oh, massive hole. Massive. That would have taken my whole front wheel. And of course I don't want to blow the shocks out on this, or the front forks, the seals, because that's always the bane of a motorcyclist's life is the front forks, if those seals leak. And normal riding doesn't really bring that on. Age does, I guess, with the seals gradually rotting. But I've never had to do it, and I never want to do it. I've watched a lot of videos, partly on how to redo the forks on a Honda CRF 300. Apparently they're very, very soft, and you can put an aftermarket set in there. But having watched the video and realized how much work there is, YouTube very helpful sometimes to make you not do things. It certainly made me not want to buy a Porsche. I think I can fix my Suburban. I'd be a bit of a fool to give that up. In fact, I got to work on the ABS this weekend if I get a chance. See what I feel like. It's just too nice. I like being on holiday today. Had a pretty busy week. Getting stuff done, getting caught up. Lots of paperwork and sorting things out. And then, usual stuff. Whoa, a little too fast there. Big open section. I guess they brought electricity here. I'm going to have to change down in the first gear. It's not stone chippings, which is good, but this dirt can be quite wet and moist. As you can see down here, some cars have gone through, and it you can slip pretty easily, and I don't want to lose traction and then balance. So it started to come out of went into neutral for a moment. Now that's very unusual. That is not a good idea on a bike. You need that control. Even when I'm backing up out of my driveway, I make sure I'm in first, because if for some reason I lose balance, it's the forward motion that brings you back into equilibrium. And it's an important factor, even though having it in first gear imposes a little bit of extra resistance to going backwards. So very often it's easier if you put it in neutral. You don't feel the this is no reverse gear, of course. You don't feel the resistance. Put it in first, just feel that clutch is holding a little bit. But I've learned kind of through experience that it's always better to have it in gear. for control. I guess that's a metaphor in life. Be ready, be prepared. What a beautiful road, eh? And as you'll see, this takes us out eventually into this extraordinary little village in the middle of the forest in the mountains called Sandwich. I'm quite excited to get out to the other side actually, and see if I can get a cup of coffee or something at the little place down there. There's not much in the town. There is a restaurant. I used to go there quite a lot when I lived as a family back in the happy days of being a family together. We used to go to the corner house. See, that guy was totally cool. People in pickup trucks generally do construction. They also ride bikes typically. I mean, that's a generalization, but the people who don't really pay any attention to what it's like being on a bike are often female Subaru drivers. I'm very careful here not to say male because Thomas actually has a Subaru. Surprised me no end, but probably made a smart decision. Good, reliable car. He didn't get an Audi and then forever spend thousands of dollars on repairing it, so it's a smart move. This is a little tricky here. I'm kind of thinking I should, if I can, get the middle. Yep, I was able to do that. Getting stone. Nice. Second gear, be careful, don't overdo it. I do get kind of carried away. Just keeps on giving, doesn't it? Sandwich Notch Road. You think this was created for loggers? It's basically a forestry road. There are a lot of these in New Hampshire, but this is perhaps one of the most celebrated roads. To come along here, I mean, I've done it in the Suburban, believe it or not, and it's actually a little bit more fun doing it in a bike, obviously. We have tried to come up here once in the Suburban in the spring, some years back, and the road had been completely washed out. There was like a 3-foot crevasse across the road. Tend to drive pretty slowly in their trucks. Partly it's the law, but also they don't want to ruin their cars. As he was coming uphill, I thought I'd be a nice guy. You always want to show respect. There's a hiker here, middle of nowhere. Good afternoon. I have no idea whether he said hello back, but it's a special type of species, I think. People who hike places like this. Middle of nowhere. Whoa! Did you see that? You see this guy? What are you doing? This is a big turtle, man. This guy will bite you. It's okay. I'll leave you alone. Oh, look at the bike. Doesn't it look good? Still a little smoke coming off down here. I gotta fix that this summer. It's a little bit of oil leaks out of the water pump, I think it is. Anyway, here we go. Little guy there. Just hope that he doesn't do what turtles often do, and that is cross very slowly and get squashed by some big pickup truck. But given the people are driving pretty slowly, I think they're going to see that guy. He's nice and big. Reminds me a little bit of the alligator turtles. I mean, doesn't have quite the same protection on his shell, but he's not as big as some of the ones in South Carolina. In fact, Thomas and I remember finding one in the ditch on the farm in Johns Island and getting him onto a shovel. He weighed a ton, and into a wheelbarrow, and he was hissing the whole time and trying to bite my foot, I remember, when I got near him. Their necks extend a lot further than you think, and their beaks are very powerful. Whoa, big stone. Okay, this is what I really was worried about, is any wet puddles or anything like that. Is a car waiting for me, or maybe parking, which is nice. That's pretty cool. This car's born wild. Hey there.
Yeah.
How are you?
I said enjoy your trip.
Oh, I love your plate. Born wild.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Such a nice guy. Backed up for me. Feel a little embarrassed there. Guess I could have got by him. It's hard to hear people when you got a helmet on, of course. One of the things is people who live up here, not all, but the people who like hiking and going out in the wild, typically are pretty cool people. They're respectful. I mean, it kind of goes with the territory, I guess. They love nature. They're kind of alert, they're awake. Though that guy had very few teeth. He seemed like a nice guy. Nice truck too. Is that a Bronco? Probably a pretty cool truck to have for doing this kind of stuff. So this is the White Mountain National Forest. You see, this bit of road would be pretty tough actually in a car. It's got a lot of undulations and camber changes, so that's pretty tough on your suspension, and also quite tiring. But you know, depending on what kind of truck you got. I kind of don't think I'd want to do it in a Suburban now. 250,000 miles, it could do it. It's got new tires, things built like a tank, but you know, who knows, might mess something up and have to spend money. Okay, down in first gear. Again, getting a little excited there. And what can happen here at the bottom is it's slush from the rain. We've had quite a lot of rain. But it's not, so that's good. We'll see. Further down here, there's a really cool spot. That may actually be it. That goes to a pool and a sort of big cave where the river comes down, and it's like a waterfall, I guess, if I remember correctly. I came here with the kids a few times. boulder. Smooth, round stones that have been there for a few million years, 100 million. They kind of grow stones in New Hampshire. I remember someone saying that to me when I first arrived in South Carolina. Of course, South Carolina is all sand, having been underwater, fluvial, or at least actually under the sea, not rivers. But I didn't quite understand that it was a joke, but also true, because when I was plowing, which I had to learn how to do that, I noticed that every year there were new stones that the plow would hit and would catch. And of course, it was horrible on a plow. The metal blade would catch a stone as you're going along in your truck, because it would literally make the truck jump as it hit the stone, because the stone wasn't going to move. So the plow had to be kind of like, you hit it, then flick off it, and the truck would respond. It was quite tough. And what I realized, of course, is the earth is always pushing these stones ever upwards to the surface. So you might create this beautiful driveway up here, all smooth, put nice stone down, but those big stones will make their way up to, here's a car doing some speed. Oh, I just hit some water there. I felt the splashes on my socks. I guess I'd be lucky. This could be a quagmire. Whoa! See how long this road is? It's a commitment, right? When you start it, and there's no side turnings. That's why I filled my, big hole. Whoa, I had to actually stand for this. I won't stand for that. I filled up the tank with gas, non-ethanol gas. Here you go. Here's where it opens up. It's still dirt road, but it becomes a little wider, and we'll head into the town shortly. You'll see there's a few houses around. This is accessible in the winter. It's beautiful. So many secret side roads, probably gorgeous houses sitting secretly along them or at the ends. And this is pretty even here, this road. They obviously can maintain this with some big road equipment. Intention of cutting firewood for next winter. Big deal here, you actually start bringing in firewood in the summer, of course, so it's stacked, ready and seasoned, ready for the winter. One of the things about living up here is the winter is nearly always a defining factor for your whole year, even if you have, let's say, 4 months of nice weather in summer. You're still thinking about what you need to do to prepare for the winter, what house repairs you need to do, roof repairs. Because once the winter comes, it's pretty impossible. You can't do much. Certainly outside.